Howler Spotlight number 6.
We're live.
We're live.
And as I always say, they keep getting better.
Yeah.
That remains true for this episode. We have newly appointed Charleston Battery head coach Ben Pirmann. Ben, how's it going?
I'm doing well. Thank you guys for having me.
Now, I know you told us just off mic just now, you're fresh in Charleston, just made the drive from Memphis on Saturday. Have you gotten a chance to settle down, have a good barbecue meal? I know you're trying to sell your house in Memphis and organize a team for the season, so not a lot of time for barbecue, but have you got a chance to do anything fun?
Head spinning right now. Right now I'm in a kind of short-term place. My wife and I, we've been kind of walking around town every night with the dog. So that's been fun. I mean, obviously the weather's been beautiful, beautiful community. We really, we like immersing ourselves in. We're Charlestonians, like we're happy to be in the Low Country. Like we're excited to be here. So, but obviously the priority is, getting things going, signing players, getting ready for preseason. So yeah, the head's been spinning a little bit, but it's exciting. Life is good.
For sure. What kind of dog do you have?
Golden Retriever.
Nice.
Oh, love that.
They're pretty adaptable too. He or she?
It's a he. His name's Rufus. He's a big dumb idiot, but we love him.
Love that.
Absolutely. Tell him we said hello next time you.
I will. I'll bring him by sometime. You'll love him.
Oh, everyone will love him. Love that. Kicking it off, Ben, obviously you had a successful season last year, winning USL Coach of the Year, finishing second in your conference, and making it to the semifinals in the USL Championship. Why leave Memphis, and what drew you to Charleston Battery as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple ways to look at it. Sometimes in our sport, specifically in professional sports, there's cycles of coaching, and I don't want to say like coaches lose their voices or anything, but it's just one of those things where we made a really strong push in Memphis. We put everything into the season last year. And, as my contract was running down and we were evaluating options, after the season, I had the opportunity to speak with Lee and our owner, Rob, and just kind of had the opportunity to be here, work for incredible people, high character, high energy people with a vision. Obviously, the Charleston Battery, the name and the brand speaks for itself, the most historic club in this continent. And then the opportunity to try to just work my tail off and coach. I'm pretty singular focused. I'm just try to focus as much as I can on trying to win football matches, trying to make things better, go through processes. We know it takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of synergy, coaches, staff, players, everybody, supporters, everybody in between. So, it was really an opportunity that was kind of too good to turn down. So, we've landed here. Now we're hitting the ground full steam going and just trying to push on from there.
Right on. You mentioned effort, the process, winning games. I mean, turning teams around is something you've done before, being that the Charleston Battery is coming off a rough season. What are key ingredients in your recipe to kind of right the ship?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you got to step back and look at things holistically. Our league, we have 24 teams in it, 12 in the East, 12 in the West. We want to be the best. In order to be the best, we have to have not just good players. There are going to be 24 teams with excellent football players up and down the pitch. There's going to be 24 excellent coaches, 24 great staffs, 24 infrastructures. What we have to do is we have to make sure we just look in the mirror every single day. We look at what we're doing, we reflect, we analyze, we improve, and then we take steps forward from there. So right now, we've got 11 players returning from last season. We got a great core of players, whether it's goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, strikers, and it's not just good players, it's good people. I made sure first 48 hours of me being on the job, I called or met with every single player in person. And then on top of that, now we have to fill out the rest of the roster. So today we announced the first signing. We've got a couple more coming. We got to make this a staff in a roster of players. Like I said, good footballers, but even better people who are ready and willing to serve this community. And then look, like I said, there's going to be 24 top-notch rosters and coaches in this league. We gotta get our lunch pail, go to work every single day, and bust our asses, or sorry, butts. I don't know if I want to say that, but
Feel
you know,
free.
Yeah, we
yeah,
Like
like,
ass, man.
Yeah.
It's okay.
sorry, but no, we're gonna have to go to work, check in, check out. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna work. We're gonna put something on the pitch that I think our supporters can identify with. I think that our supporters can say, hey, win, lose, or draw, we can't control that, but we can control our attitude and effort, and we can control how hard we're gonna work. And I think it's gonna be exciting. I think it'll be exciting for every single person involved. Coach, player, staff, front office, supporters, you know, the media like yourselves, anybody and everybody. This is a community-wide club, and that's what this is going to resemble.
What did you think about Charleston before this opportunity sort of made itself available to you, first as a city and then as a club? I know this is a really historic club that makes itself apparent pretty quickly the more you learn about them, but just, I guess, out of curiosity, what were your thoughts before this made itself available to you? Did you have any specific, was there a rivalry? Did you think I'm never going to them, or I'd love to go there?
Well, it's interesting. In 2019, when I was the assistant coach for Memphis, we came here 3 times to play one match. There was like a governor issued emergency. There was a lightning, you know, and then we just played it the last week of the regular season, midweek as a makeup. So we didn't really get to experience everything. And then this past year, you know, we came here, we played the match. And I remember getting on the bus headed to the airport the next day, and one of the players on the team was like, "Hey, coach, you could trade me here. I'm never coming back." You could just tell there's an energy, there's a vibe, there's a feel. Obviously, it's beautiful. The aesthetics, the water, the community, but even more, it's the people. You know, where I'm at right now, I've been here 4 days. People in the apartment, they're just kind. They're just kind. You walk around. And no matter what we're doing, whether we're, you know, laying brick, coaching soccer, running a podcast, or the president of the United States, whatever we're doing, I think you want to be kind and treat people well and surround yourselves with like-minded people. And that's what this community is. So that's going to, like I said, that's going to, you know, be enigmatic of us on the field. That's exactly what we want to do. We're going to work. We're going to be hopefully pretty tough to play against. But we want to be respectful. We want to be kind and good citizens as well.
Gotcha. And another interesting question too. So I know self-reflection can be pretty tough, especially kind of categorizing the type of coach you are, but based on what you've been told from other coaches or staffs that you've worked with in the past, what is your managerial style in your own words? Are you more of a man manager? Do you like to observe from afar? What works best for you usually?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me, everything goes back to balance. So, you know, I never played professionally. So for me, I'm very forthcoming, very honest, very transparent with the players. Some coaches, you know, they're managers and they step back and, you know, they more move in pieces and do things a little bit differently. For me, I'm very hands-on. I'm high energy. I try to build relationships with the players. Everything is about buy-in and trust. So if you want buy-in and you want trust, you can't be full of it. You know, you have to be honest. There's going to be 20 players on the team. Only 11 are going to play on a Saturday night. That means 9 players straight away hate me. You know, they're ticked. We want players that want to play. That means 8 or 9 guys, they're going to be out the team. You know, we're not all friends. We're not all, you know, best pals when you ain't getting selected. So they want to play. You know, that's where we're just very transparent with our expectations. You know, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? This is how the style is going to play. Tactically, you know, and team philosophical wise, you know, it goes back to that balance. There's 4 phases. We're going to be good out of possession. You know, in my opinion, you know, we've kind of got a reputation. I got a reputation this year being a little bit higher press of a team. That kind of just, I guess, evolved and matured into it. That was not my MO going into this past season. If that's what it takes to win, that's what we'll do. If it's, you know, out of possession, we defend a little bit lower and we transition, you know, those transition moments, and we counterattack. You know, when we lose the ball high up the field, we will build the ball from the back at times. We can also be more direct if needed. It goes back to that holistic view of balance. But what I can tell you, what will be non-negotiable, number one, and the other 23 managers in this league will say the same thing, is we are going to work our absolute tails off. We'll be the hardest working team because we can't control wins and losses and ties. We can't control results. That's an outcome of our performance. but our performances will be balls to the wall, nonstop, in your face. How that looks, I bet we're different February 1st when we get going. I bet we're different March 11th in our first match. And I bet we're different October 14th at the end of the regular season, and hopefully be able to keep playing after that. So we'll just keep getting better. But what I can guarantee is that we'll enjoy doing it. We're going to suffer together. We'll have a strong team, strong camaraderie, and we're going to go for it.
The high press point is interesting because I'm not sure how much of the World Cup you've been able to catch. You've been a very busy man. The U.S. was also very high press in a lot of their performances. Is there a type of theme, do you think, in U.S. soccer? Do you think teams are more apt to want the ball and to enjoy having the ball? Is that something that you see sort of all over the pyramid, or does it still differ? Is there still a lot of defensive football that you've seen in the USL, a lot of counter football? I guess, what do you think is most dominant right now? What's the biggest trend?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think everybody's different. Like I said, I want to be about balance. I'm not going into this saying, hey, we're going to be high press. Hey, we're going to be Spain-like possession from the goalkeeper all the way to the attack. Liverpool are about transitioning quickly, and then when they lose it, they're in your face. Man City, they're pulling teams apart side by side, constantly moving the ball. We want to have a balance. If we can be as good as Spain and USA and Man City and Liverpool, then I bet we're going to have a pretty good team. But
you got a promotion coming your way.
Yeah, no, we're going to have to focus on the players that we have as human beings first, and then obviously individually as footballers, and then within their collective groups, and then obviously the entire team wide. Trend wise, if you look, whether it's Philly Union, who I know they tied the Supporter Shield and lost in penalties to LA. You look at San Antonio FC, who had a dominant regular season and dominant playoff run. And then you look, I believe there's some high level data right now in the World Cup. The teams that are winning, they have the least amount of possession. That's Philly and that's San Antonio. That's the way they want to do it. If that's what works for us, we'll be on board with that. But like I said, we have to be good on the ball. If we're not going to win any matches. We also have to be good defending high up the field, defending in midfield, defending in our own 18-yard box. We have to be excellent on restarts. I think in the modern day, the last probably 4 to 6 years, there's a high focus on transition. When you win it and the other team's disorganized, how quickly can you go to goal and score before they're organized? And then when you lose it, can you recover the ball back quickly, whether it's high up the field, in midfield, in the build-up phase, wherever it is, can you recover the ball quickly before your opponent can get organized? So there's a kind of push and pull about the organized and disorganized moments of the match. And it's kind of like a chess, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Every team's going to do it differently. It's what fits them. I don't think there's something right or wrong, back three, back four. Do you play with 2 strikers? Do you play with 1 holding mid? Do you invert guys? It's about finding solutions to problems. Every single weekend, there's going to be a new barrier in the way of us getting 3 points, and we're going to have to focus on how to beat them. Hopefully, we put a lot of time and energy in improving ourselves. But we look, like I said, there's 23 other opponents in this league. I think we're playing every single one of them, so it's going to be one hell of a season for sure.
Yeah. Definitely. Being that you have some roster spots to fill, you're looking to have this fairly adaptable style. Work rate, commitment are 2 that already stand out to me for what you look for in a player. But are there other things or attributes that you really key in on when you're going to be looking to complete the roster?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. Like I said, we talk about high energy, high character. Look, common sense, there's a threshold of the quality of footballer it takes to play at this level. I'm not signing myself to go play left wing, as much as I'd love to play at Patriot Point this year, I'm not doing that. So there's a threshold, but the number one non-negotiable is that they have to be good people and they have to work their tails off. Going from there, we want players to be themselves. We've got a board written up right behind me where we've got center backs. We've got 4 different center backs written on that board. We go through who we want. If we don't get the first one, do we get the second one? He might be completely different. That might affect the fullback or the holding midfielder that he plays with. Maybe one goalkeeper plays a little bit different style than the next. What I can say is there's some high level returning players. Augustine Williams scored 16 goals, was named second team all league. His skill set is different than the other strikers in the league that scored a lot of goals. He's very good at bringing his teammates into play. He's timely in and around goal. He can stretch the field if needed. He's not going to be always taking guys one-on-one, but he can create space to score goals. AJ Patterson's versatile. He's left-footed, could play as a fullback, left-sided center back in a 3 or 2. He's played in middle midfield for his national team. He's the captain. It's his team, not mine. Everybody's different. I thought, Leland Archer, Taylor, or Andrew Booth, these guys, they had really good seasons. You got guys like Robbie Crawford and other players here and there that have had a lot of experience in this league that we're going to be relying on from day one. And it's on me and the players and the staff to just keep getting better every single day.
Love that. Ben, so your career so far, obviously you started out playing at a Division I level, high level, collegiate soccer. What kind of drew you to coaching as a whole? I know you had won a sportsmanship award in the Big Ten, so it seems like you're the type of guy that can bring teams together. Is that something you thought of early on, of like, oh, I'm going to go into coaching? I have a knack for this kind of thing. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, my father used to coach the Fort Lauderdale Strikers in the 70s. He's a professional coach, coached in college. He was the first ever director of the state of Michigan, coaching director. So he's been a sport coaching educator since before I was born. So when I was 3-4 years old, I was running up and down the sidelines of my older brother's trainings for ODP and in club games and things like that. I was, I remember this when I was in high school, I played basketball and I broke my wrist. So I was out for the season, and I asked the basketball coach, I said, can I just sit next to you and learn? And completely two different sports, but all I learned were spacing and angles, transition moments, data, you name it, communication. Has nothing to do with football, had nothing to do with, putting the ball in the back of the net or those things, but there's just, whether it's terminology, communication, philosophies. I was a bang average player, so I knew I wanted to stay in the sport somehow. And I kind of knew I had that knack. So when I was in college, I was getting all my coaching badges, and I knew my senior year of college, I had a redshirt. I had 2 groin surgeries, and I went into my coach's office and just said, what can I do to help the team? Can I coach the reserves? Can I do whether it was captain's practices, running sessions for the team? I've always, loved being around it, been a sponge, try to get better. I'm always trying to learn and improve as well. So for me, it's one of those things where, whether it was from my father or from high school, college, you name it, I kind of knew that was going to be the case. And for me, it's just about absorbing as much information as possible now, continuing to improve myself and kind of, pushing that onto others, and hopefully on Saturday nights and in these 34 matches, winning as many points as possible.
I love that. And yeah, clearly it shows that you've had a calling for this at a young age. But when it comes to coaching as a whole, what are some things or moments in your career where things didn't go right? It seems like you're very adaptable as a coach and a player, obviously with injuries and transitioning into that role. Can you speak more to, I guess, moments in your career where things got difficult and how you kind of, progressed through that?
Well, it's interesting. I played at Michigan State University. My last season was the fall of 2008. And before I redshirted, I got my master's degree. Before I even finished with getting my master's degree that spring, I took a job as the assistant coach for Stu Riddle at Western Michigan University. And that we inherited the worst team in the country, and, major rebuild job, all those types of things. We started off the season 0-6, and I was literally I didn't even have an internet phone back then. I went home and was Googling jobs. I was obviously this is not for me. And then, we trusted the process. We trusted each other. We got better the next year. We went to the championship match. We got second place to Akron and won the national title. And then I took the assistant coaching job at Michigan State, was there for 8 years. Great, was able to coach Detroit City and then go to Memphis. So I think the biggest thing is there is doubt. There's always self-doubt. Like, am I doing well enough? We lose a game. I don't have social media. I always make the joke, I don't know how to use the internet, but it's like, I guarantee you there's people out there saying, oh, he stinks as a coach and this guy does that. You gotta surround yourself with good people. You gotta trust what you do. And that's why we talk about high energy, high character all the time. I guarantee you this year, we are going to have a loss that stings. I guarantee you we're going to get lucky in a game and win 3 points when we had no right doing it. We're going to suffer and do anything and everything in between. It's about getting better every single day. So there have been moments, the last time I coached in a match, we played Tampa Bay Rowdies in the conference semifinal. We missed a penalty to win it in the 98th minute. And then 90 seconds later, we conceded. Probably I've never experienced anything like it. It was probably the crappiest feeling I've had, since my first coaching, going 0-6 to start a season. Mm-hmm. So look, it's been however long that is, 2009 to 2022. It's 13, 14 seasons. We've experienced it all. So we just want to keep getting better. When you're coaching football, when you get to do this for a living, life is good. That's why we're all about service. We want to serve this community. We want to serve this club, because I guarantee you, somebody's going to look at me and be like, oh, that guy stinks at coaching. Oh, he's the greatest coach in the world, and everything in between, So we just want to do things the right way, play our best football, and keep going from there.
Now, admittedly, I'm somewhat of a Detroit City FC supporter myself.
We'll change that out of you.
I'm honestly fascinated by everything about it. I've seen, I've read a lot about the club. I've seen a lot of really crazy highlight videos of matches and the home supporters. Talk a little bit more about your time with Detroit City FC. Obviously, you're a Midwest boy, so it is sort of a hometown thing, probably near and dear to your heart, but do you sort of hold those times in pretty high regard, looking back on everything? Yeah,
definitely. So I was born on the north side of Detroit, in Providence Hospital. So I'm a Detroiter. I lived 33 years, first 33 years of my life in the state of Michigan. So being able to kind of coach my hometown club and I took over the second year of the club's existence. Again, worked for and with amazing, great people. It started as a kind of on a napkin, writing things down. Oh, let's do this and this. And then obviously it's transitioned into being a top club. They've done well. They had a great season. They do a great job in the community and in the supporters as well. It was fun. And obviously when it was my time to leave there and go to Memphis, it's always tough to leave your hometown, but you kind of always look forward. Same thing. I spent 4 years in Memphis, had, I was dialed in, considered myself a Memphian, enjoyed it. Some really good people around, had some great times. And now I'm just looking forward to the Low Country. I'm looking forward to being here. To me, this badge, this crest, this Charleston Battery, it's something special. It's if it's not the most historic club in this continent, it's darn real close. So for me to be able to be the manager and lead this club from the technical side of things, I'm humbled and I'm honored. It's not something we take lightly. It's something that we're going to push through every single day. But I'm very appreciative of my time, whether it was Michigan State, Detroit City, Western Michigan, Memphis 901 FC, you name it. I coached like a U16 Kalamazoo Kingdom boys team when I was still finishing up graduating. So all those things are very appreciative, been able to come from, and now we're really excited to be here.
Is Detroit style pizza underrated or overrated?
I don't even know if Detroit has its own style. I know that some of the
deep dish style.
Well, Chicago, right?
Chicago.
I think that Detroit has now I look like an insane person, but I'm pretty sure Detroit has their own like signature style of pizza. But guess
I know that
must not be that.
Some of the biggest chains are from Detroit, Little Caesars and Domino's. They're both Detroit brands or Michigan brands. It's kind of like Wedding Crashers, the movie. It's like, it's pizza. It's always good.
We might be losing a potential sponsor here, but I'm no fan of Little Caesars. That's all I can say.
Okay.
No, I guess you spoke about a couple of things already about the Battery and things you've loved so far. We had the opportunity of meeting great people there so far, from the social media team, the digital team, and obviously Lee, club president. What's, I guess, one thing that has been the most exciting thing you've seen so far since being at the club?
Yeah, I think you just mentioned it. It's the people. We haven't been able to be on the pitch yet. So in whatever it is, 40 something days, my answer is going to be different.
Mhm.
I'm going to be working with these players and just fall in love on the field. But right now, I mean, just the kindness, the sincerity. I think everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to have fun. Everybody wants to suffer and go at things together. Our owner Rob and our president Lee and Wade and Logan, everybody involved with this club right now has not only been welcoming, but there's a vision. We want to be the freaking best. That's anybody who plays sports. That's what you want. We know what we've got to do. We know there's only one team that's the best. And right now that's San Antonio. Every other team is catching them. And until November of next year, that's going to be the case. But in order for us to do that, you have to have good people. You have to have good human beings. Lee and I, we talked and we've become, transparent about our ideas and philosophies. And that was the main reason to be here. Because it's about winning. I'm selfish. I want to win football matches, but you can't do that without good people. And it doesn't matter if it's the marketing. It doesn't matter if it's merchandise. It doesn't matter if it's an owner. It doesn't matter if it's, John Wilson, who played here and coached here and he's outreach in the community, anybody and everybody in between. We're going at this together. You guys too. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll be there for one of the hopefully the opening match. If not, we'll be there early on.
Schedules line up.
I guess to wrap up things, this is for the fans. Let them know what they should look forward to this season.
Yeah, I think you're going to see high energy, high integrity, and hopefully high entertainment. We want results. It is a business, but the results are just an outcome of what we do every single day. But whether it's the regiment, the Battery supporters, you name it, we want to put on a show. We want to play hard. We want to be tough. We want Patriots Point rocking. We want that place to be filled. We want that place to be filled with excitement. I'll tell you right now, I guarantee you we're going to have losses and it's disappointing. When we suffer, the fans suffer, we pick each other up. We're going to have great wins and great results, and we're going to enjoy that together. But I think what people can look forward to is high energy, excitement, and hopefully the brand of football that we can play, is not just appeasing, but we can win and really make this community rally around it.
Well, we're looking forward to football under Ben Pirmann.
Yeah.
We can't wait.
We'll bring the noisemakers.
Well, certainly, like we said, we'll be down there and hopefully we can see it all happen in person. But obviously, thank you. I know you're a busy man putting together a football team and trying to find a home, and all those things can be stressful, but you took time with us and we really appreciate that.
Well, that's my pleasure. If you guys get here, the first round of beers are on me.
Right on. Second, third, fourth. We'll take the next round. All right,
there you go.
So much. Good luck this season. We can't wait to see the Battery play.
All right. Thanks, guys.